So, what are you made of? That's what we'll be talking about in this module. So most of this information will be coming from Chapter 2. The goal of this module is for learners to explain the relationship between monomers and polymers, to identify the different types of macromolecules, and to describe the roles that macromolecules play in organisms. So we'll start by discussing macromolecules as a concept, and then in our next videos we'll talk about the 4 major categories of macromolecules that make up cells, including ourselves: carbohydrates, nucleic acids, proteins, and lipids. Molecules which are composed of long chains of repeating units are known as polymers. With the prefix poly meaning many, and the suffix mer referring to units or blocks. A single building block molecule is known as a monomer or single unit. So mono meaning single. A monomer is a one block, and a polymer is a structure that's made up of many blocks. And so really you can almost think of it as a monomer being like a single Lego brick, and a polymer is like a Lego tower. You're going to be connecting these smaller individual units together to make this larger, more complex structure. There is a category of chemical reactions which builds up polymers from monomers. This is known as a dehydration synthesis reaction. There's also a category of chemical reactions for breaking polymers back down into monomers. This is known as a hydrolysis reaction. So in a dehydration synthesis reaction, the reactants, the molecules you're starting with, are going to be either monomers or small polymers, and the goal of a dehydration synthesis reaction is always to build up a larger polymer. So our products will always be a larger polymer, and in the process it will also release a molecule of water. This is why it's called a dehydration synthesis reaction. It's dehydration because water comes out, but it's synthesis because you're building up this larger molecule. Hydrolysis is exactly the opposite. In hydrolysis, you're using water, which is the hydro, to lyse or break apart these polymers. So in a hydrolysis reaction, your reactants will always be a polymer and a water molecule. And in that process, you're going to break or separate the bonds between one of the monomers and the rest of the structure that was there. And this is how our digestive system works at a molecular level. And there are many different types of molecules which can be considered monomers and polymers. All that matters is that there are smaller molecules connected by covalent bonds into longer molecules. And those covalent bonds are simply the types of connections that make molecules. Dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis are also just general categories of chemical reactions that can be used for many different types of molecules. Now, each of the 4 types of macromolecules are polymers made up of monomers linked together. While they are all polymers, it is the types of monomers which make these macromolecules different from each other. And we'll be talking about the different types of macromolecules in our next videos. Energy storage and information storage. That's what we'll be talking about in our next video.